right, so here we are. We have our skeleton sketch and we have our reference layer. Now, this is going to take quite a bit of time, so I'm just going to walk you through the concepts and then you will go and continue to work on your own. Okay, so think of the practice one we did where we kind of started with the background and worked our way to the foreground. So we have background, foreground, and then we also have value as well. So I'm going to start with the background, which is the sky. I'm going to add a new layer, and I am just going to, same as I did with our practice one, I'm going to pick a light value, not the first one. I'm saving that one for my clouds. That's number 3, so I could probably either pick the second one or the third one, and I think I'm going to pick the second one. Since I'm filling up the whole box, I can very easily go get my rectangle tool, capture a rectangle, and fill that in. Okay. And you can see now, I don't see my other 2 layers because that layer is on top of, so I'm going to bring that layer all the way down. Okay, so again, that is going to be my sky layer. The next layer I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do number 4. Yeah, let's do number 4. So that's slightly darker than number 3. So I'm going to use, let's use this one right here. And actually make new layer. And number 4, okay. So here I can do a couple of things when I'm drawing this. Remember, my skeleton sketch is just a guideline. I can keep that on there. I can eliminate it so I can only see now my reference. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to my pen tool. And again, just double check everything's on the right thing. I'm happy with that color. I'm on a new layer. And I'm going to do this mountain that's kind of in the background, and I am going to also include those trees as well. And I'm going to just cross over when I get to the tree. Now I'm starting there. Maybe I want to include a little bit of those. And again, you can zoom in a little bit more just for demonstration purposes. I'm kind of keeping it large so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I don't know why that doesn't look like it filled in. Maybe it's my pen point. Let me start again. Making sure my color is... Okay. And I think that it is very close to the color of the actual mountain. And that is why I really don't see it. Okay, and I'm stopping here, moving it over, going through the tree. And this is a very light color as well. Doing those tops of those trees. Continuing them out. Okay, now I'm going to fill that part in. If I did it correctly, okay, it did fill in. If I did it correctly, oops. So far that's what I have. Okay, so that's my background sky layer and then my number 4. And I just filled the whole thing in because I'm going to cover it up. Okay, the next one I'm going to do is my next layer, and that is going, and I'm going to change the opacity a little bit even more. There you go. I'm going to do the next layer, which is my number, I'm actually going to be doing number 5. I'm going to be doing the number 5 layer of the mountains. New layer. Change the opacity just so I can see it a little bit better. I'm working on this layer. I'm going to move this layer above my reference so I can see it. Got my pen tool. Again, I want to make sure everything is correct before I draw. And then here I'm going to follow that. Number 5. If I did it correctly, I should be able to fill it in. And there's my drawing. So far, again, so far I've got, again, 3 values. And again, I'm going to move that below my reference. Now, at this point, I'm going to do, let's see where we are here. I'm going to do this number 2, where it's down on the bottom. So again, start a new layer. Want to make sure my layer is above my reference so I can kind of see what I'm doing. You can see if I scroll down, those are my layers so far. Okay, but I'm going to do this number 2 layer. And I don't need that. This one, number 2, is a little bit lighter. Whoops. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to actually use 3. I know, did I use that one already? I'm going to use that one, number 3. Sometimes when you cannot see it, you may be on the wrong layer. Oh, because I'm not on my pen tool. Pen tool. Okay, that looks very light to me, so I'm going to make it a little bit darker. It's lighter. So this line, I do want to pay attention to. Again, I can go through my tree. That doesn't matter. Let me make a little kind of shapes here. Fill. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so that's what I've got so far. And again, I'm going to move that below my reference. Okay. And now I'm going to do and I'm going to do these other parts too, but again, I'm getting, I haven't even done the cloud layer yet. But I'm just getting, again, kind of a sense of everything. So that's what it looks like so far. Pen tool. Now I'm going to do my tree. New layer. Again, I want my layer above my reference so I can see what I'm drawing. Want to make sure I have the right value. I think I'm going to make it pretty dark. Let's try that one there. Okay. Pen tool. And since the tree is in the foreground and it's a predominant thing in my piece, I really want to make sure that I really do like the shape. So I'm going to do an outline shape, and then I'm going to show you how to modify it how to modify it if you're not quite happy with exactly the way it turned out. So you don't have to redraw it. There is a way to kind of modify it. So again, I'm kind of following the shapes of the tree. This particular, and again, when I have to pick up my pen, it's very important to make sure I'm starting back right on that line or close to that line so that it's connected together. That's the biggest, if I'm going to start filling this in and it doesn't fill, it's because it's not an enclosed shape. Okay, now I don't know if you saw what happened, that little circle appeared. What that means is that I stayed there in that point too long and it changed the color. So I want to go back, make sure I'm going back to, I think this is the color I used, back to my color. I'll find out in a second when I connect it together. Let's again zoom in on that. Again, see that little hole right there? I want to make sure I'm connecting those together. If I don't do that, it will not be a shape, and it will not, and again, the color or the fill will leak right out. And again, I'm going to show you how to, if you don't like the outline shape, there is a way to change it. Is that connected? I'm just gonna do this kind of squiggly so you can kind of see how we can change it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right, now I'm going to fill that. If I did it correctly, it should fill in. Voila. Okay. So, and actually, ironically, the one that I kind of scribbled really fast, I'm really happy with that side. I'm going to fix the other side. So I'm going to fix it in a couple of ways. Okay. One thing I can do is I can go back to my pen tool and redraw. Again, I'll make sure I'm on my tree layer. I'm going to redraw over it. So that's if I'm making it kind of a little bit larger. Redraw over it, connect it back into itself, and then I'm just going to fill that part in. And again, those were little shapes within themselves, so you have to make sure they're filling in as well. There we go. Okay, so that's if you're going to be making it a little bit larger. The other option is, of course, erasing it, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So erasing, so I'm going to have to erase it and then go back and fix it is basically what happens. So I'm going to go erasing. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to erase what I don't like. Okay. Now the erasing tool is a little bit, you can see how the erasing tool is a little bit more fuzzy. That's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to erase this part. Then I'm going to go back to my pen tool and make sure I'm on the right color. And then I'm going to redraw. Make sure I got the technical pen tool. And I'm going to redraw over that area that I want to change. Okay. And go back to my bucket and fill that in. Now, what happened was when I did that, okay, so then I do also want to, do you see that line? I want to touch that line and make sure that changes too. Looks like I drew it in a different line. So let's see what we have so far. So, okay, that's what I have so far. Oops, oh wait, no, I'm missing the one in the front. There we go. Also, if I wanted to, yeah, so far looks good. So far, so good. And I'm just going to keep plugging away till I get some. I'm just going to do one more thing, and that is some of these shapes, some of these darker shapes on the side there. And again, you may want to make your pen tool a little bit smaller. Again, I have a little bit of a hard time seeing them, so that's why they're a little bit darker for me, but whatever works for you. Okay. I think when it's going above there, I can't see it. I think that's my general issue. You can make as many layers as you want. So I'm going to make another layer. You can actually, if I want to, I can put all my dark colors on that one layer. So like I'm going to go back to my tree layer. So I'm going to be putting some of these dark colors that are the same color as the tree, the number of the tree, on here. And again, I'm going to zoom in a little bit on there. Oops. One little thing I'm doing, or not doing as the case may be, is I like to draw things in first and then go back and fill. But you just want to make sure that it isn't definitely an enclosed shape. Fill, whoops, fill. I don't know if that's filling. There we go. Back to my pen tool. And I'm trying to do all of these shapes that are the same value. I like these lines here. I'm drawing in the dark shapes. Did I connect those together? Sometimes it's hard to tell if I connected them together. Then when you fill, okay. So let's see what I have so far. Again, okay, so that's what I have so far. I find this tree's a little dark, so I think I'm going to, okay. I got, before I am going to change the dark tree. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to find a slightly lighter color. Maybe that is the color. There. Just made it a slightly lighter value. Like that a little bit better. And then I am going to draw in, let's go back to, where's my skeleton sketch? There we go. But I am liking what's happening here. So I'm going to make that into a slightly darker color, lighter like this. All right. Anyway, I'm playing right here, but now it's your turn. I'm going to make that even a little bit lighter. I think I may redo the tree, to be honest. I'm not really crazy about it, but I love what's happening over here. These are great little shapes. Love what's happening over there. Love what's happening over there. But again, I'm not crazy about the tree. So it's easier, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my tree layer, just right there. I love the other little pieces on there, but I'm not crazy about the tree. I'm going to take my eraser and get rid of the tree. My tree. And I'm going to redo that. And make sure when you are erasing that you're indeed getting rid of all the little bits and pieces. So again, not happy about that. All right. Well, I hope I gave you enough to get started. I'm going to continue doing this one, and I will join you at the end.